Hello, everyone, and welcome to English for You. I am Mike.
And I'm Sam.
And I don't know about you, Sam, but it's 3 days of terror coming our way. Are you ready to be horrified,
I absolutely am.
Shocked, and frightened?
Well, I've done with my Halloween stuff, but I'm still in the mood. I still want more.
Do you like horror movies and scary books as well?
I do, yes. Yes, mostly around Halloween time, but I think there's always a good time for a horror story.
That's true. It sets the mood around Halloween. And if you're into horror stories, horror movies, scary stuff, we're going to be talking about one of the key books, the key works of fiction, and one of the key writers to basically create horror stories.
Right, exactly.
I think before this, no one had really written books just to scare you.
No. And there was a whole trend in the Victorian era around the late 1800s. And I think the author, Bram Stoker, the author of Dracula, set it up.
There you go. So vampires, biting necks, bats, all sorts of creepy stuff that we're all very familiar with. A lot of it goes back to Bram Stoker and, of course, his great book, Dracula. So we're going to check out the article and talk about it and try not to get scared too much because we still have to teach English. We can't just scream and cry for the next 3 days.
No, we cannot.
All right,
Absolutely.
so let's check it out.
Reading. Dracula's Guest. Early summer is one of the best times to visit Germany, and this pleasant day demonstrated why. The sun was shining brightly on Munich and the air was calm. What I didn't know then is that bad things lay ahead that day. Before we began our drive out into the country, Herr Delbruck, the host of the hotel I'm staying at, appeared. With a serious tone to his voice, he reminded my coachman to be back by nightfall. There was a storm coming, and there would be a chill in the air. But that wasn't all. Tonight was no ordinary night. After a while, I asked the coachman Johann what Herr Delbruck had meant. Johann drew a cross over his chest with his finger and told me that it was Walpurgis night. I had no idea what that meant, but Johann sounded upset, so I asked nothing more. We soon came across an old road. It dipped down into a valley and seemed inviting. I left the carriage and tried to persuade Johann to go down the road, but he refused.
And here we go. Let's get into the story. Are you ready?
I think so. Just go. I'll just block my ears.
Block your ears. It's going to be
cover
terrifying.
my eyes. If I cover my eyes, it can't hurt me.
It cannot.
Right? Okay.
We
I'm
hope.
ready.
The vampires do bite, so watch out.
Go!
Early summer is one of the best times to visit Germany, and this pleasant day demonstrated why.
Oh, I like that.
So there you go. Pleasant start. Have you been to Germany?
Yes, one time. I was in the city of Dusseldorf, and I believe it was raining and cold, so it probably wasn't the summertime.
Okay, so it wasn't a pleasant
Well, it wasn't that pleasant, but I didn't see a vampire. I didn't get bitten on my neck, so maybe I'm lucky.
Yeah.
But Germany is a beautiful place to visit, and it's also a place famous for kind of scary old castles.
Right.
Some of the castles in Germany look beautiful, but on a dark night with fog, it could be really bad. Okay, so let's find out more.
Let's find out more. Right, so we have the word here, demonstrating. And when something is demonstrating something else, it means that it is acting as an example or proving the point. So in the article, the pleasant day is proof that early summer is a great time to visit Germany.
Oh, okay. So you could say, for example, we went to the night market on a Saturday demonstrating, and there were so many people demonstrating how popular night markets are. It's a good way of showing a point you're telling someone about or describing. Here, look! There it is right in front of you. And here's, the kind of thing you would hope to experience on a beautiful summer day in Germany. It says the sun was shining brightly on Munich and the air was calm. Okay, that's Munich, right. I believe, is like the second city of Germany. It's in Bavaria, kind of the southeastern part of the country. Never been there, but always wanted to go, and a summer day sounds perfect.
Just perfect.
No vampires yet.
No, not yet.
All right.
Let's proceed, though. We might get there soon. What I didn't know, then, is that bad things lay ahead that day. Okay. So here we have a pocket phrase The article says that bad things lay ahead. If something lies ahead, it means that something is usually something bad, and it's going to happen in the future, okay? It's something that we'll have to deal with. So, for example, if you have a difficult exam next week, you could say, a really difficult exam lies ahead of me.
Absolutely. You can give the example of the thing that lies ahead, or even the feeling a stressful week lies ahead of me because of that difficult exam. It's coming up. There's not much you can do about it.
No, you know it's there.
That's right. You're just hoping to get through it in the best way possible. All right, so back to the article. It says, before we began our drive out into the country, Herr Delbrück, the host of the hotel I'm staying at, appeared. Okay, so this obviously is a German man, and we know that because Herr is basically man, I think, or Mr.
Right.
It's kind of like Mr.
Right.
in Germany.
Yes.
So Mr. Smith would be Herr Smith or something like that. If you go to Germany, he's the host of the hotel, kind of like the manager or something like that, the one who makes sure all the guests are comfortable and having a good time. So this host is doing his job. He's showing the guests around and that kind of thing. And then we read, with a serious tone to his voice, he reminded my coachman to be back by nightfall. Okay.
Why is he asking that?
I don't know. That's a bit of a strange warning. I guess it would be, it would depend how he said, be back by nightfall because the dessert we're serving is delicious.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Or if it's
once in a lifetime experience.
But how about be back by nightfall? If you're not, something terrible will happen. That's a different warning.
Kind of warning. It is. It is indeed.
It's all about the tone in my voice. So let's find out more about this word, tone. So the tone is basically the sound of something or the quality, how something sounds. That's kind of what we're talking about here. You can tell someone's feelings by the tone of their voice. If I come in and I look kind of okay and you say, "How was your day?" and I say, "I had a great day." You think I had a nice day, good things happen, no problems, right? If I came in and you said, "How was your day?" "Oh, I had a great day." Whoa, maybe I didn't have such a good day. Maybe, in fact, I had a bad day. So by the way people say words, it could be the same words, the same sentence, but the sound in their voice, the tone in their voice. If you're angry, your voice will have a tone like this. If you're in love, your voice might have a tone like this as you write poems for your lover or something like that. So it's basically the quality of the sound, how a voice sounds, and also the feelings and emotion of that voice. It comes out through the tone. Here's one I remember from when I was a kid. I could tell by the tone of my mom's voice that I was in trouble. Oh yeah, there's a special tone when your mom is about to yell at you. Yeah, I don't know about you, Sam, but my mom's tone would tell me if I was in trouble. Also, if she says your whole name, like every part of your name, you know you're in big trouble. Anyways, let's get back to the article. We also have this word to remind. To remind is basically to bring something back to a person's attention. You remind a person because you're afraid they might forget and you don't want them to forget. All right, you can remind yourself by writing a note and putting it on the door before you leave your home.
Yeah, I often have to do that.
Oh yeah, it's a good way to remind yourself. Or of course, if you think your friend might forget something, you might send a message earlier like, "I'll see you today at 4. You send that in the morning to bring it back to their attention to stop them from forgetting something because you don't want to forget things. Back to the sentence. Forget. It isn't good, especially when it's something fun. You don't want to forget like this. Could you remind me when we are going to a movie this week? I know we said we're going to a movie, but is it like Wednesday or Thursday? Was it 7 or 8 p.m.? I kind of forget. So please tell me again. Bring it back to my attention. All right, let's get back to the article. So the host of the hotel was reminding the coachman, make sure you're home before nightfall.
That's it. Ooh. But first we have the word coachman, because that's a tricky word. What is a coachman?
I don't know. I've never personally had one.
No, it was quite an old word, and it literally means somebody who drives a coach. So as I say, it's an old word, so we don't really use it these days because a coach is a vehicle that's usually pulled by horses. It's got, it's a wooden vehicle with 4 wheels pulled by horses. Though I don't know about in Canada, but in the UK, a coach can also mean a big type of bus.
Oh, like a bus, you go from one city to another.
Right, exactly. Yes, you might go on vacation on it or on a tour or something like that.
Absolutely. But the old four wheels pulled by horses kind of coach, you might see that if you're on holiday.
Right, exactly.
The Queen or the King of England travels around in a coach once in a while.
Yeah, so they probably have a coachman.
They probably do. But basically, this is the way people would get around before cars. So when we see coachman, we kind of think of driver. This would be the driver of your car or taxi.
Yes.
Or something else.
That's exactly right.
All right, let's get back to the article. Oh, yeah, we also had this word nightfall. Remember to be back at the hotel by nightfall. It is when night falls or when the sun goes down. It's actually more like sunfall.
Right.
Because the sun goes down.
It's the night doesn't fall at all.
The moon comes back. But often when we use fall in this way, we're also sort of saying the beginning of something. So nightfall is when night begins, the day ends. Think of the early evening, 7, 8 p.m., something like that. And of course, once the sun goes down and it gets dark, scary things
happen. Vampires come out.
So the article then tells us there was a storm coming and there would be a chill in the air. Okay, well, maybe that's the reason to get back to the hotel. The weather will suddenly get bad. It'll start raining, it'll get windy and cold. That's why we mean by a chill in the air. Well, let's have a look at this for the language in focus for today.
Right, let's have a look at today's grammar point. So, in the sentence we just looked at, we saw there was a storm coming. Here we're using the pattern there plus a be verb plus a noun or noun phrase plus a verb, usually continuous. In this pattern, there, the be verb and the noun phrase work together to say that something exists. For example, there is a camera. It's right here in front of me. It's the one you're looking at me through now. There is a camera. Then we use the verb to say what that thing is doing. So, for example, we could say, there is a camera filming me. What is the camera doing? It is filming me. So what was the storm doing? It was coming.
And of course, when a storm is coming, we can replace that with a typhoon is coming, or a tornado is coming, or even just bad weather. Heavy rain is coming, or something like that. And one of the signs that the weather is changing, and maybe changing in a bad way, is you feel a chill in the air. What is a chill? Well, here we're using it as a noun. You could use it as a verb. To make something cold is to chill something, like chill the drinks before you pour them. But here we're using it as a noun to basically mean a cold feeling in the air. A cold wind. Maybe not super freezing cold, but definitely, you feel that, Sam? Ooh, I'm going to go get a sweater. There's a chill in the air.
It's chilly.
Yeah, that exactly, we can use that exact word as the adjective too. Not as cold, but definitely not as warm as warm. It's a chill, it's chilly. For example, feeling a chill, Frances went to her bedroom to put on a sweater. And I'm sure that will make her much more comfortable.
It always does.
Back to the article.
Okay. But that wasn't all. Tonight was no ordinary night.
Ooh, something strange is happening here.
Building up.
Okay, so then we read, after a while, I asked the coachman, Johann, what Herr Delbrück had meant. Right, so he heard this conversation between the coachman and the boss, Herr Delbrück.
But he knew something was strange, perhaps.
He gets a feeling, right? Even if you don't understand, you know when people are not exactly happy with what's going on, but he needed to know more. So he's like, what's happening? Why do we have to get back to the hotel tonight? What's the story here?
What's this strange thing going on?
Explain, please.
Yeah. So Johann drew a cross over his chest with his finger and told me that it was Walpurgis night.
Walpurgis night?
What's that?
I have no idea. And apparently the guy in the article has no idea too. He says, I had no idea what that meant. Walpurgis night? Okay, is that like Christmas? I don't know what this is. But Johann sounded upset. So I asked nothing more. Okay, so it's a special night. Often special nights are holidays or maybe religious festivals. But of course, if you're new to a country, if you're new to a culture, and someone says, oh, it's tomb sweeping weekend.
What does that mean?
A person from England or Canada, the first time in Taiwan, tomb sweeping. Oh, okay, what does that mean? Do we go to work? Do I have to do something?
Yes.
Is it scary? What's going on Walpurgis night or Walpurgis night?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So in the article, it says, we soon came across an old road.
Oh.
So here we go. We're going down an old road, perhaps.
Okay.
Okay. But first, we've got to look at the pocket phrase. So it's a useful little phrase for you to come across. Come across is used when we meet someone or find something by chance. We didn't mean to meet this person or find this thing. It was an accident. So, for example, I came across a lost little dog last night, which I took home to feed.
Oh, you're such a nice guy.
I didn't mean to find a little dog. I just came across it. And I'm feeling charitable. I'm feeling generous.
Good for you.
I took it home and I decided to feed it.
So there you go. You're just minding your own business, and by accident, just through luck or something, you find this little dog. So there you go. All right. So as you're going on a journey, you'll often come across different things, something interesting, something useful, something you don't care about. But in this case, they came across a road, and this road kind of went off the main road and into the forest, all kind of mysterious.
Yeah.
And I guess they followed the road or something, because we learn more about this little road. It says it dipped down into a valley and seemed inviting. Oh, okay.
It does seem inviting.
Maybe it's not a scary road, but it definitely goes down a bit. To dip down is to kind of drop down a bit. We'll get to that in a second. And that's what happens when we have a valley, when the earth sort of goes down between two hills or mountains. The road might go down a bit. And if it seemed inviting, it's kind of nice. It's like, oh, let's go down here.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a little village and we can have a little coffee in a coffee shop or something.
Sounds beautiful.
We don't know. We'll find out more after we check out this word dip. Yes, as I mentioned, to dip is basically to go downwards, okay? We're not diving downwards. It's a gentle kind of drop or something like that. If you take a road in the city, well, most city roads are pretty flat, right? But once you get out into the country, especially into an area with hills or something, you might have the road goes up and then it goes down and then it goes up. It can be a lovely country drive, but occasionally the road might dip or go down before it rises or goes up or something like that. We can also, of course, use this as a noun to say, be careful, there's a dip in the road a little bit ahead, slow down. You might have an accident because the dip might surprise you, or the road will suddenly dip. It'll suddenly go down. And when that happens, any of you who have been on a nice country drive will know what the example sentence explains. The road dipped so suddenly, it made my stomach feel weird. You ever had that feeling? Almost like a roller coaster. The road goes down, the car's moving fast, your stomach goes up, and you feel a little funny for a second or two. Anyways, a dip is when the road goes down. It dips. Let's get back to the article.
And we go back to the article. So, here we are, about to perhaps go down the road.
Okay.
Okay. So I left the carriage and tried to persuade Johan to go down the road, but he refused. Okay. He doesn't want to go down there.
It's a lovely looking road, but Johan's like, no, I'm okay here.
Indeed.
I'm not going down that road.
But we have the word carriage. So what is a carriage? It's a bit like the word coach, actually. So it's a synonym for coach that we looked at earlier. It's a four-wheeled vehicle drawn by horses. Okay. So an example for carriage could be, the carriage stopped in front of the palace and a footman ran to open the door.
Ooh, this is like from an old movie or olden times.
Sounds
when
very old, doesn't it?
Fancy people used to ride around in carriages with horses. Now fancy people ride around in Mercedes-Benz. It's a little different, but the same idea. And we also had this vocab word, to persuade. The character in our story was trying to persuade Johan to go down that road. When you persuade someone, you basically use words to try to change a person's mind, or you use words to try to convince them to go along with what you want. Oh, come on, it'll be fun. You said you wanted to go, we're gonna go now. It doesn't matter if you have homework, just come with okay, I'll go with you. So I'm trying to persuade myself to do something. I'm not sort of saying, if you don't go, I'm gonna really hurt you. No, that's not to persuade, that's to threaten someone. To persuade is to use good arguments, good logic, and maybe a bit of emotion to try to get someone to go, okay, I didn't want to, but you've changed my mind with your words.
You've got me.
I'll do what you want. Exactly right. Here's a good one. You may like to eat pidan, or you may like to eat 1,000-year eggs, but you'll never persuade me to try them. You can tell me how great they are, how strong they make you feel, blah, blah, blah. Nope, I'm not going to try them. You won't persuade me. Actually, you will persuade me. I've tried them, but...
So there you go. You were already persuaded.
You won't persuade me that they're delicious and I should eat them every day, but I will try one. All right, now it's time to check out our chat question.
For you chat.
All right, well, our chat question kind of relates to our story and seeing that little road going off the main road. It looked attractive and interesting. So here's our question. Do you like to discover interesting places? Explain your answer. In other words, if you were in the story, would you go down that road?
Yeah, would we go down that road? That's a good question.
What's there?
It sounds a bit scary, but you know what? I think I would.
Okay.
I do like to discover interesting places. Yeah, and I think since I've been in Taiwan, I probably play less sport than I used to when I was back in the UK, simply because it's very hot.
Right, it is hot here. Yeah.
So one of the things I like to do for exercise, especially after work, is to take a stroll around and go to discover something that I haven't discovered before. So I'll go around in a different neighborhood or a different part of the city, see what I can find.
Okay, so you don't really plan your route on Google Maps. You don't say, I want to go here, and then I'll go there. Then you just like to wander around.
Wander around, see what I can see, find different parts of the city. And sometimes it's just a local neighborhood with nothing much to see.
Right.
Other times I see some very interesting things.
Absolutely. And even in a place you know, like your own neighborhood, sometimes there's roads or streets you just don't walk down very often, and you finally get around there, new restaurant or new business or something. So it's nice to discover interesting places, both in far corners of the world where very few people have gone, or even in your local town or neighborhood. Wander around, check things out. You never know what you'll find, including a vampire who wants to drink your blood. But hopefully you don't find that.
Hopefully, I haven't found one yet.
You just find a nice noodle shop and not a vampire who wants to turn you into his slave. But we'll get on to that in the Dracula story in the next 2 days. Yay! So come back and check that out with us. We'll see you then. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Vocabulary Review. Tone. I could tell from the tone of my mother's voice that she was angry about something. Remind. I know you forget things, so let me remind you that today is Mother's Day. Chill. Winter is here, so there's a real chill. I think I need to start wearing my jacket. Dip. Eddie loves how the hills rise and then suddenly dip behind each other. Carriage. Before there were cars, people rode in carriages pulled by horses. Persuade. Mika didn't want to go to the party, but I persuaded her by telling her it'd be fun.
智慧小补帖
Demonstrate. Coachman. Nightfall.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net